Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Thursday evening episode of Ted's Booze Cellar with me, your most gracious host, Ted. It is currently 6 on the 10th of August 2023, and I hope I'm finding you all in a good state of affairs, and if I'm not, then I hope things improve very soon. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at a whisky I had a number of years ago, but I've never reviewed on this channel, and that is Glenfiddich. This is an old sort of Scottish whisky distillery. And they've been around for a while now. They're in Dufton in Banffshire in Scotland. Very old, very prestigious. And today we're going to be taking a look at their 12-year-old aged single malt scotch. And now I'm a big fan of single malt scotches. Obviously, first 10 out of 10 was the Arents in 18-year single aged malt. Generally speaking, I think I tend to draw myself more towards either 10 or 18-year aged single malts more than others. I mean, probably my least favourite generally tends to be 15-year aged, although there are some that are decent enough. But I can't remember the last time I've had a 12-year aged single malt, so this could be interesting. I got this as part of a triple pack from Sainsbury's for 14 quid. It includes 3 of these little 5 centilitre bottles, and I'm just looking on here now. It gives you, one each of the 12-year, 15-year and 18-year aged single malts. So this could be quite interesting, because I can't remember the last time I had a 12-year aged single malt. And I brought up some information here on Glenfiddich's website, and it says it's got notes of fresh pear and subtle oak, so that could be interesting. Usually, I generally tend to find some oaky single malts tend to have quite a forest fruit, like cherryish kind of flavour to them. But pear, that could work. I think that sounds really nice. And it says here a bit more, flowing in the valley of the Deer, with a unique freshness from the same spring water since 1887. Our 12-year-old is the world's most awarded single malt Scotch whisky. That's pretty good standards, I'll tell you what. Let's see. With a unique freshness from the same Highland spring water we've been used since 1887, its distinctive fruitness comes out from the high cut point William Grant always insisted upon. Let's see, scrolling down. Yeah, so it says it's got a golden colour, it's got a nose of distinctly fresh and fruity with a hint of pear, beautifully crafted and delicately balanced, a finish of long, smooth and mellow. And a taste of characteristic sweet fruity notes develops into butterscotch, cream, malt and subtle oak flavour. So that sounds exactly what I'm looking for in a scotch. This all sounds really promising. Definitely give a look out at Glenfiddich's website. They've got all the information about all of their whiskies and other bits and bobs on there. It's a good breed. Today we're going to be taking a look at this. So I will say, I really like the design of the bottle. The glass being green really contrasts nicely against the white, gold and other shades of green on the label. This is honestly one of the nicest looking whisky bottles I've seen in a while. Obviously it's a wee little 5 centilitre one, so it probably doesn't look quite as prestigious as the big old 70 centilitre ones you can buy from the distillery, but generally I think this is pretty damn handsome, so I'll give this honestly a 10 out of 10. There's a little bit sort of like, no, I think a 10 out of 10 is very deserving, actually. So, anyway, give ourselves a quick snifter, see what first impressions are like. What did they say the nose was like again, actually? Distinctly fresh and fruity with a hint of pear. Yeah, there's a wee bit of pear in there. It's a little bit overpowered by some of the oakiness, but not in a bad way. It's actually kind of more, like, undercutting the oakiness there. Yeah, that smells really nice. Let's pour it into glass and see what it properly smells like. Not a proper whiskey glass. This is obviously a sterilised Dijon mustard jar, so sorry. But as you can see there, very nice, simple golden colour, very reflective, very nice. Let's do the test that Phil mentioned in the Glasgow 1776 episode, actually. So let's see how many streaks it leaves when we sort of swish it around. Oh yeah, there's quite a few there. Oh, that stays quite a while. Yeah, that looks like a good quality scotch. Hang on, let's give it a proper smell now. Ooh, yeah, no, definitely smells a lot better in a glass. Oh, wow, that's a good nose. That is really nice. Yeah, definitely the peariness really comes out a bit more when it's in the glass. yeah, this nose is a lot more balanced in the glass, definitely, for sure. It's very much a 50-50 cut between the sort of like sort of a mellow pear, sort of fruity freshness, and then this sort of like very soothing, like almost very slightly singed oak kind of smell undercutting everything else. Oh, that's such a... It's a simple nose, but it's really nicely balanced. So, yeah, 9 out of 10. That's a really nice nose. Really lovely stuff. But anyway, we won't really be able to obviously give this an objective view until we have what is Imogen and Owen's favourite part of the video. So before we proceed, quick palate cleanser. God, I guess I just splashed myself with the palate cleanser. That was a bit silly. And as it is getting hotter at the moment, remember to stay hydrated. Anyway, let's see what this sucker tastes like. So, to everyone at home, I hope you've had a good week ahead. I hope you have an even better Friday ahead. And I hope your weekend is full of merriment and good fortune. And if you're doing a weekend shift, good on you. Keep up the good work. Anyway, bottoms up. Ooh, that's smooth. Yeah, for a Scotch, that is really smooth. Yeah, what did they say the taste was? Characteristic sweet, fruity nose develops into butterscotch, cream malt, and subtle oak flavours. Not really getting much cream there, to be honest. There's a little bit of an undercurrent of butterscotch that kind of cuts everything off really nicely. It kind of sort of keeps everything tied together quite well, actually. It's quite a sweet whiskey as well. Not obviously not like say a sheepdog like peanut butter whiskey, but it's like got a slight tint of sweetness to it. That kind of again sort of undercuts everything really nicely. The main sort of overlying sort of flavour is like this sort of slight fruity sweetness, which is the main through line, and it's got this kind of sort of like flavour around it of oak. It's not necessarily an overtone or an undercurrent of like oak. It's like just kind of all around everything. It really, it's sort of like it's always there, but not in a way that overpowers the other flavours. So you've got that, and then you've got the through line of that sort of very mildly sweet, sort of like almost like forest fruitiness with a little bit of like that peary sort of tint to it as well. Yeah, and then you've got this after smell that's a bit more like sweet butterscotch. With again a little bit of like fruitiness, but it's more so butterscotch and oakiness in the aftertaste. Really, really nice. The only thing I'm not really getting is the cream. There's obviously a bit of malt throughout, considering it's a malt whiskey, but I'm not really getting any cream. I'm not, you know, I think like that probably would have cut, you know, everything off quite nicely. Again, it's not really ruined by not having it either. Maybe I just don't have quite as sort of like a distinct palate as I maybe thought, perhaps. But generally speaking, the impressions I'm getting from this is fruit, oakiness, a little bit of malt to kind of sort of undercut everything, and then just oak around everything else, and then sort of that slight butterscotch aftertaste. It's a really well balanced drink, but I think maybe having that slight sort of like smoothness with the cream would have probably helped everything else move along a little bit. And while the finish is mellow, I think it could have been a bit more smoother and a bit more mellow. But generally speaking, this is one of the most smoothest whiskies out there, in terms of at least like malts that are like between 10 to 15 year aged at least. And I can definitely see why this is so well rewarded with all the awards it's been given. It might not necessarily be the best whiskey I've ever had, but it is pretty good regardless. Like, it is, as far as like shop bought whiskies from like the supermarket are in the UK that you can just get from any old like Sainsbury's or whatever, this is good stuff. Like, this is really nice. I just prefer, like, again, the Arran 18-year single age malt, the Glasgow 7076 original. And I think there's one other that I prefer a little bit more. But generally speaking, I think... top 10 whiskies I've ever had. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's not quite like top 5, or it's definitely not top 3, but I think top 10, respectably so, in fact. So I'll give it... let me have another mini palate cleanser. So I'll give it... 8.5. Yeah, I think 8.5. This is good stuff. I would definitely go out of my way to buy this again. I would even go and buy one of the big 70 centilitre bottles. But generally speaking, it's not really anything against this. I just think there's like a couple of other flavours they could have added in here. The texture could have been a little bit more smoother in the finish, but overall the texture is smooth as it is. And I think that you know, the initial taste could be a bit more characteristic. The aftertaste and the main through line are both very full-bodied and very enjoyable. And then the only other thing I'd really criticise is I wish there was more of that cream sort of flavour to sort of undercut like the sort of fieriness and the sweetness of everything. But generally speaking, I think an 8.5 out of 10, you know, you can't go too wrong with that. I think that's a good rating. And yeah, and generally speaking, I would definitely go out of my way to get this again. This is lovely stuff. But yeah, I mean, maybe you guys agreed or disagreed with my opinions in this video, and if you did, leave a like, share and subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section down below, as well as any suggestions for future episodes of Ted's Booze Cellar. If you like this video, again, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you also like my general sort of persona, I'll leave the links to my social medias in the video description down below. And if you... yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Where was I going with that? Whatever. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you had fun, have fun again. Until next time, have fun, stay safe with whatever you're doing. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Drink responsibly, know your limits. And until next time, I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar. Bye-bye for now.